Tommy Boyds.
Yeah, I was reading the paper this morning, and a very funny writer, who I'm going to credit because I'm going to mention some of his work, and I hope he doesn't get upset, called Simon Hogarth, was reporting on something that was happening yesterday in Parliament, and I hope it's not misunderstood or misconstrued by people who live in Yorkshire, in a particular part of Yorkshire, who talk in the same wonderful way that Dennis Skinner, MP, does. But I'll read you what happened in Parliament yesterday, and I got onto the editor of Talk Radio this morning, and we managed to access some of the actuality from the House of Commons and Dennis Skinner's speech yesterday, and sure enough, you can hear the Conservative Party, our great elected opposition, Her Majesty's opposition, all trying to talk with Barnsley accents, badly, to put Dennis Skinner off. I think that was their motive. But let me quickly read you what Simon Hogarth watched yesterday and see whether you agree. The Tories have developed a new technique for dealing with Dennis Skinner. They shout, "Aye," in a broad northern accent. "Aye, aye, aye." They all rumbled when he stood up. "The best news this week," said Dennis Skinner, "is that there are another 10 billion receipts." "Aye, aye," said everyone. "It will be very helpful in budget." "Aye, aye, happen. Go to the foot of our stairs," said all the Conservatives, "and take us further away from the discredited policies of the Tories." Thunderous applause, says Simon Hogarth, writing in The Guardian, of ayes as he sat down. Hogarth then comments, "It is repetitive, childish, and for some reason, very funny." Mr. Skinner, a man as conscious of his own dignity as any Bradford alderman, must hate it. Now, would you like to have a listen to what this greatest political institution, Dennis Skinner, MP, the beast of Bolsover, had to put up with yesterday? And you'll have to get in quite close to your radio, pull over if you're driving, and listen to something that Simon Hogarth missed, which is one Conservative politician shouting, "Happen he will." Now, is this rude? You see, we'll get on talking about it in just a second. Is this rude? And you'll also hear the ayes, aye, aye. Because if Paul Boateng, for example, or one of our new Asian MPs were having the mickey taken out of the way they talked, you know, just as some new Labour women MPs have complained to the Speaker about the behaviour of some of the MPs and their mutterings when they stand up to speak, you know, it would probably be a matter for the Racial Equality Commission. Let's have a listen. This is what happened yesterday in Parliament.
Dennis Skinner.
Will the Prime Minister agree with me that the best news this week has been the announcement that there's another £10 billion extra in income tax receipts? It will be very helpful in the budget, and I hope that he and the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the rest of the Cabinet, most of whom are spending ministers, will be able to take part in an exercise that will take us further and further.
And we'll play it again in just a second, because the bit that makes me laugh is the Conservative MP who does a tremendous sort of Bernard Manning. You have to listen quite carefully to hear it. When Dennis Skinner says, you know, will the Prime Minister, you hear this Conservative MP say, "Happen he will." Now, we could talk if we want to in serious terms about whether this is unkind and unpleasant, but what I want to talk about is whether Simon Hogarth is right when he says it's very, very funny. Because at the risk of offending some people who won't understand where we're coming from in this hour of the programme, I have to say I think it is. And you only have to think of the comedy of the great Les Dawson, which was couched in a similar accent, not the same, but a similar accent, to realise that there is humour in this particular accent. Jeff Boycott makes an awful lot of people laugh. He does. He's probably Rory Bremner's stock-in-trade impression. He himself doesn't know that he's being funny, but when he says the things that he says in that accent of his, for some reason, I don't know why, it is a lot funnier than if he had the round southern vowels or a broad West Country burr. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Call the programme. Have a joke to tell. But in this hour of the programme, we are only going to be talking as Dennis Skinner talks, with the accent that Dennis Skinner uses, in which case, I suppose, I'd better drift into the vernacular myself. I'm sure I'll get it wrong from time to time, but I do have an expert on hand who's the lorry driver Phil, who called the last hour of the programme, who lives 15 miles up road from Dennis Skinner, who put me right and put everybody else right. But let me demonstrate what I'm talking about, because I heard a wonderful joke just before we came on air, and I'll tell it thee. Concerns a man who goes into a restaurant, sits down, the waitress comes over. She says, what would they like? He says, well, looking at menu, how about a quickie? She says, you what? He says, how about a quickie? She walks away in disgust. Comes back 5 minutes later, see if he's calmed down, sorted his act out. Says, now then, sir, if you don't mind, what would you like? He says, can I have a quickie? And she slaps him one round ear roll and stalks off. Anyway, that fella, total stranger, sat next to him, leans across, takes his arm and says, yeah, couldn't help overhearing. I think you'll find that's pronounced quiche. Free call 0500 1053 89. Phil, very quickly back to you. Thanks for hanging around.
Right, no problem.
How are we doing?
Fine.
Sorry, how am I doing?
All right.
All right.
All right, yeah.
All right. Have they ever noticed that it's funnier to get a laugh with thy accent than if one were to deliver it neutrally, like?
No, not particularly with Yorkshire accent. There is some accents that I think are a lot funnier to tell jokes. North East accent.
Aye.
That gets a laugh. Well, not a laugh at it, but it's easier to tell a joke. I know what you mean.
Will you stay on the line and coach people who are coming on, because they can't be on this hour of programme unless they speaks like Dennis Skinner or Conservative MPs.
Yeah, but the accent you're using is more like a Barnsley accent.
I thought
Which is like a bit, you'd be better off with somebody from Barnsley. But yeah, they'll be best.
No, listen, it's close enough for us, like,
right.
As makes no difference.
It'll do.
It'll do.
Yeah.
All right, stay there then, Phil. Free call 0500 1053 89. In Yorkshire accent. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. Hello. Discussing accents, in particular that Yorkshire accent. Julia calls from Derbyshire. You're on Talk Radio, Julia.
Oh, hi, Tommy, you're absolutely wrong. Dennis Skinner comes from Derbyshire.
Eh?
He's got a North Derbyshire accent. He's not from Yorkshire, he's from Derbyshire.
No.
Derbyshire, not Yorkshire.
No, he's from Bolsover.
Well, that's in Derbyshire.
Well, in that case, he's from Barnsley.
He's not, he's from Derbyshire.
Well, whatever it is, that's how... wherever he's from, that's how he talks. And
he does not. He does not. People in North Derbyshire don't talk like that.
But
you're totally wrong.
What?
You've really got this round your neck.
Excuse me, wherever he's talking from, that's how he talks, and the Conservatives...
The best news this week has been the announcement that there's another £10 billion extra in income tax receipts. It will be very helpful in the budget.
No, that is North Derbyshire. Derbyshire it comes from, which is obviously on the border of Yorkshire, but he is a Derbyshire bloke.
Now, will you listen to me for a moment? The deal is you come on this hour of the programme, all right, and you demonstrate that they can talk like that, and you're not doing it, love.
You sound like Greengrass from Off Heartbeat now. You would sound nothing like a North Derbyshire miner.
That is as may be, but at least I'm trying, and they are patently not.
You're nowhere near.
It's a dangerous game, is cricket.
I can't believe no one's rung in before now and told you that you do not sound like Dennis Skinner.
Did you hear the Conservative MP say up and he does?
Yes, which shows how stupid they are, because they do not talk like that in North Derbyshire.
No, but they're getting at him, and is it fair?
No, but he's a tough old stick, and he can take that.
If he was a Conservative, if he was Asian, we wouldn't stand for it, would we?
No, we absolutely would not. No, we absolutely would not, because the whole House is supposed to accept human diversity and differences, but he'll just, ignore it and take it for what it is, stupid, ignorant people trying to be funny.
Julia, thank you very much indeed for your call.
All right.
Works, though. Let's talk now, Tommy calling from down County Tyrone. You're on Talk Radio, Tommy.
Hello.
Afternoon.
Hello, Thomas. How are you?
I'm well. How are they?
Tommy, stop. This is not funny. Taking the mickey out of people's accents is not funny, so it's not. It's like,
Everyone wants to respect one another for each other's accent.
Excuse me, pal, that's the worst Yorkshire accent I've ever heard. Can they not do one?
I'm Irish, I'm not from Yorkshire.
I know, well, you Irish ought to be able to do other accents because they do their own accent really well.
Tommy.
Aye.
Well, listen, you know, are you, like, I don't know how old you are, but you're like, I behave like a little child or something? Oh.
Excuse me, Tommy, but our Majesty's opposition are behaving like this.
Tommy.
Aye.
I think I'm going to switch over to Radio 5, because this program is just so bad. No. I'm being serious now, it's just, I don't know, it used to be good in the radio, but now you're getting worse.
Tommy.
Aye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Aye, well, no, I don't say that. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So it is.
So it is. It's funny, isn't it? Irish people with Irish accents have very little sense of humour, although they have a great sense of humour in other respects.
So they do.
So they do. Free call 0500 10 53 89. How we doing, Phil?
Sorry, Tommy.
How we doing?
We're doing all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Grand. Let's bring Anne into conversation from Hertford.
Hey, Tommy, you've got it completely wrong.
Aye.
Well, this lad, he's not Yorkshire.
No.
What they're trying to do, if you know,
Aye.
is this Willie Hague.
Aye, come.
Because he comes from Rotherham.
That's right. That's right.
And they're all trying to get on his good books.
Why, I'm sorry, I'm going Geordie then. No, Anne, you don't suppose that some Conservative backbenchers, in pretending they're taking the mickey out of Dennis Skinner's
I don't
accent,
think that...
are very slightly taking the mickey out
I've
of...
lost the accent. I came from Doncaster, so I
Yeah.
know the accent. Look,
Yeah.
look, they're getting in well in Willie Hague's books, let me tell you.
Well, you see, what's going on in the House of Commons is that, and our editor from Talk Radio was there yesterday, and he said that not only were the Conservative MPs doing this, happen he will, there's trouble at mill, I'll go to the foot of our stairs, but so was the Labour Party.
Well, they've got it anyway, haven't they?
Not, what New Labour?
Hey.
No, I don't know. There aren't any broad Yorkshire accents in New Labour that I've heard. Not with Peter Mandelson and his avocado mousse.
Yeah. Well,
routine.
look, I've lost my accent. I did come from Doncaster a long time ago. But you have got it wrong, because I'm sure they're trying to sort of blacken their boots and
No, I
put
don't...
the clogs on. And
No. I think they're taking the mickey out of
I
William
don't
Hague.
think they are.
Listen,
I think they're taking the mickey out of themselves, because they're trying to become one with the workers and whatever. It's the new Conservative image.
They're taking the mickey out of William Hague, but pretending they're taking the mickey out of Dennis Skinner. I'm convinced.
Oh, do you
of it.
reckon?
I do. I think that's what's going on. And that's why the Labour Party are joining in, because they know that the Conservatives are taking the mickey out of their own leader's accent, because they're embarrassed to have a leader who talks like that.
The South Yorkshire accent is the worst of all. I mean, a Yorkshire accent is lovely, but I was brought up with a Doncaster accent, and I know what the South Yorkshire accent is like, and it's awful, and he's got a twinge of it. And
Would that go along with that, Phil, in West Yorkshire?
Yeah, go along with that.
Yes.
Fair dues. Fair dues.
Yeah, fair do I.
Fair dues. Thanks, Anne, for the point.
Thanks, bye.
Bye now. Phil?
Yeah?
Are there any little phrases you could just coach us in so that we can all do this a bit more easily? Do West Yorkshire folks say cheerio or no?
That's grand.
That's grand.
That's no, don't usually use that, 'cause that's grand.
No.
I don't know really, because...
Do you say hey up?
No, not really.
What do you say in the morning? You just see your mate, you're walking to work and you pass him and he's on the other side of the road. You just go,
You're right.
yeah, right.
You're right.
Yeah, right. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
See you
yeah,
later.
Right. Yeah, right. See you later. And what do you do for goodbye? Oh, see you later. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Phil, stay with us if you would.
Yeah, yeah.
Free call 0500 10 53 89. We've got to the bottom of something here. This is why the House of Commons is now alive with fake Yorkshire accents. The Conservative Party are taking the mickey out of their new leader, but pretending they're taking the mickey out of Dennis Skinner, and the Labour Party, who recognise what's going on, are making sure that the opposition leader, William Hague, knows that his party are only behind him in voice. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio.
This is Talk Radio.
They were having fun of sorts in the House of Commons yesterday. Remember, we're paying them to do this. Dennis Skinner was on his feet, speaking. And political correspondent to The Guardian, Simon Hogarth, noticed that they've developed a new technique for dealing with Dennis Skinner, a great parliamentarian. They take the mickey out of his accent. They shout, aye, in a broad northern accent all the while he's on his feet. Aye, aye. Happen, I'll go to the foot of our stairs, and other cliches. What's interesting is that Hogarth, a great student of human nature, says, and he's right, this habit is repetitive, childish, but for some reason, very, very funny. And it is. Let's have a listen. Listen very carefully. Listen for the happen.
Will the Prime Minister agree with me that the best news this week has been the announcement that there's another £10 billion extra
Dennis a little
in
bit
income
there.
tax receipts? It will be very helpful in the budget, and I hope that he and the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the rest of the Cabinet, most of whom are spending ministers, will be able to take part in an exercise that will take us...
Now, what's this all about? This is the question. Why is this accent funny? Why does it make us laugh? Why are 600 of this country's best paid and most influential people all trying to put on a West Yorkshire accent when they should be discussing important issues? Is the Conservative Party secretly chasing William Hague? Free call 0500 10 53 89. Bob's on the line from London. You're on Talk Radio. Bob, good afternoon.
Do we still have to talk with Yorkshire accent?
Well, if they like to. I mean, can they?
Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know what I sound like. I mean, I'm from London.
All right, well,
and I've probably got an awful Yorkshire accent.
Do your best, lad, right? Make
All
the
right.
point or tell the joke or whatever, and we'll get Phil in West Yorkshire to tell you how you've done.
What I'm ringing about is just to tell you that normally I think your programme's bloody awful.
Oh,
but
bloody
today,
awful.
I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Bloody
And that's what
brilliant.
I'm calling about.
Oh, well, that's really great of you. That's grand and...
That's mighty grand.
That'll do for me, pal.
Good.
All right, Phil.
Take care.
Phil in West Yorkshire. How's
Cheerio.
no, don't go. I just want to get you the coach. Be Phil. How's he doing?
Tell you the truth, Tommy, it's any different.
No.
Oh, he's gone, Sommer.
No, he's gone.
Ah, he's gone.
Fair dues. All right, Phil. Let's have a word with now. Tony in Halifax, of course. He ought to be absolutely a lickety split. Tony in Halifax. All right.
Hello, Tom.
All right.
Aye, not too bad, pal. Got a little story for you.
Grand.
This'll explain Yorkshire humour to you. My mate, he was walking down road, and he seen this fella stood in a pond up to his neck in water. So he shouted to him. He says, "What's your name, mate?" He says, "John Robinson." He says, "I'm from Smith's Farm." He says, "All right, you hang on there." And he runs up to Smith's Farm, and he sees Foreman, and he says, "Here, do you know John Robinson's drowning?" Foreman says, "Aye, what about it?" He says, "Well, I've come for his job." And then he says,
Yeah.
he says, "Never mind, pal." He says, "You're a bit late." He says, "Why is that?" He says, "I've just give it to the bloke has chucked him in." Yorkshire wit, Tommy, best in the world.
All right.
Cheers, Tom.
They're all like that. Thank you.
Cheers, Tom.
Cheers. All right, see, Phil.
Yeah.
There's that joke about Jeff Boycott. No, not a joke. A story about Jeff Boycott, who's playing for England, batting, right?
Yeah.
And their other team, Australia, have got dodgy spinner called Jackie Gleason. No one can work out how he does it. And Basil D'Oliveira goes out to bat with Jeff Boycott, and after 20 minutes, Basil calls Jeff over and says, I think I've worked him out. You know what Jeff says?
No.
So have I, but don't tell others.
I didn't get that.
No, you're not a cricketer.
I'm not a cricketer, no.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Listen, we're not so much talking about Yorkshire attitudes here. We're just talking about the accent, which is what they're doing in the House of Commons at the moment.
Yeah.
Would it brown people off in your neck of the woods to find out that people around the country and our government and Her Majesty's opposition think it's basically funny?
Well, no, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but it certainly won't brown me off.
No.
No.
Good.
No, it's just part of life's rich tapestry, isn't it?
I like it.
And it's like, you know, like you were saying, if it were an Indian MP.
Aye.
Right. Well, I think a lot of it, people think you're offending Indian, but if you get talking to them, you know, you get talking to Indian and you have a bit of a laugh with them, then it probably don't offend them. It's like too politically correct, isn't it? You know,
Right.
folks will take mickey out of my accent. Well,
It's not very
that's great.
politically...
It's no problem to me.
You know how politically correct New Labour is supposed to be?
Well,
It's
yeah.
not very politically correct of them, is it? I mean, you kind of expect it from the Tories because they're not that bothered about political correctness, are they? I mean, Nicholas Soames, who's extremely funny, is the least politically correct bloke you could think of, isn't he? Paul Boateng turned up for the opening of Parliament in a tribal costume to make a point, you see, and it was a bit sort of, obviously it didn't fit. And Nicholas Soames shouted across, "One more fitting, I think, for ha 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 ha." You know, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Let's bring Ken into the conversation. Ken calls from Dundee. Ken?
All right, Tom.
They're on Talk Radio. Away they go.
All right, Tom.
All right.
How you doing?
Read Gradley.
I got a story for thee, Tom.
Keep it. Go on, hang in there. Hang in there.
You ready for my story?
It's gone a bit Pakistani, Ken.
Right.
Go on then.
This story, this bloke's walking down the road and he sees a bloke across the road and he shouts, "Hey up, that's got the collar on back to front." So of course the minister says, "My son, I'm a father." And he says, "I'm a father too, but I haven't got my collar on back to front." He says, "But I'm the father of 500 children." And he says, "It's your trousers you should have on back to front, not the collar."
Yes, the ta-ta-ta. Ken, that were grand, man.
So long, Tom.
I don't know about the accent.
Scotsman, but
Aye, you are.
I tried to put on that Yorkshire one for you.
Yeah, you see, I mean, if they started taking the mickey out of Alex Salmon, say, for example, when he got to his feet, or Robin Cook, who's also got a broad Scottish accent, things would be very different, wouldn't they? Ken?
Oh, yeah, right. They're still talking to me. Okay,
I mean,
right.
you wouldn't stand for that, would you?
No, I couldn't stand for that, no.
But you don't mind taking the mickey out of Yorkshire?
No.
No. Ken, Phil?
Yeah.
You know I'll go to the foot of our stairs?
Yeah.
Does anyone know why? Or what that's got anything to do with?
No.
I mean, we know about trouble at Mill.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said that, did they?
No, I've never really thought about that one.
But you've gone to the foot of your stairs, haven't you?
No, it's not a term I really use.
But you've heard it?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Folk round your way say it, don't they?
Yeah. So you know the good one. Put wood in oil.
Put
wood in oil.
I'm sorry, I have to go a bit more slowly. Put
wood in oil.
Put wood in oil?
Yeah.
Right. Meaning?
No.
Put wood in oil?
In hole.
Oh, in hole. You're saying put some wood in the hole?
Yeah.
Is your way of saying shut the door?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Put wood in hole.
Well, there's one down south that they have if somebody's standing in front of the television and you're trying to see it. And they say you'd make a better door.
Better door than a window.
Oh, you got that one as well?
Yeah.
Right. How would you say it?
You make a better door than a window.
Yeah, I wonder if that's northern or southern. Anyway, stay with us, won't you, Phil? Thank you for your help so far. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I don't know where that accent has gone, but we're discussing North of England accents in light of the fact that the House of Commons yesterday were all speaking like this, partly to take Mickey out of Dennis Skinner, also to take Mickey, probably, out of William Hague. That's the game they're playing at the moment. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Pat calls from West Yorkshire. Pat, you're on Talk Radio.
How do, Tommy?
How do? All right.
Are you all right?
I'm all right. Are you all right?
No, it isn't all right. It's all right.
All right.
That's better. I don't think you do a bad accent, actually. I think you sound like the Beast of Bolsover.
Grateful,
Very
thanks.
good. Very good.
Grateful, thanks.
Very good. Yeah, and I'm surprised that you didn't know yet to put wood in oil.
Do you hear that then?
She heard it.
Listen.
Are you still there?
I'm listening to Phil. I think he wants to have a go at thee.
Go on then.
No, you weren't listening to me. No, I'm just nodding on and laughing.
Oh, fair enough then.
Yeah.
Right, Pat, what's your point?
I just think I laugh at Yorkshire accents myself on the television and radio.
Yeah.
But Yorkshire people laugh at Liverpool accents and, Newcastle accents.
Aye.
Everybody laughs at everybody else's accents.
Right, not a
But
problem.
I do think they were trying to take the Michael out of him. I must admit that.
Who are they taking Mickey out of? Dennis Skinner or William Hague?
I think it was Skinner.
Skinner?
Yeah. And I don't think he's bothered.
All right.
No, I don't think he's bothered at all.
All right, that's...
Yeah, had a cousin of my dad's emigrated to America about 70 years ago. And about 20 years ago, relations of his, children of his, came to see us in Yorkshire. And he'd flabbergasted them with a saying for years and years and wouldn't tell them what it meant.
Aye.
And they didn't know, so they asked us, and it was, we're washy, we are saying.
Hey?
We're washy, we are saying.
We're washy, we are fen.
Yeah.
Don't tell us what it means.
Don't.
No, don't, because
No,
we'll see if we
okay.
can work it out. We're washy, we are fen.
That's right.
Right, and
Yeah.
I mean, does it break down into what you might call English?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah.
You've got to break it down.
Yeah.
All right, listen, thanks for that, Pat.
Okay.
We are washy, we are fen. Free call 0500 1053 89. Here's Lee calling from Barnsley. You're on Talk Radio, Lee.
Going on, old boy?
All right.
All right, mate, aye.
Grand.
We can talk proper Yorkshire in Barnsley, then us.
Aye. That knows, aye.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me, mate, yeah?
Loud and clear.
Right, sound on, buddy, yeah. Dennis Skinner don't talk Yorkshire like we do, see?
Where exactly is he from, then?
He's from Bolsover, isn't he?
He is from Bolsover, aye.
Aye, that's right, aye. But I mean, at the end of the day, he don't talk like we talk in Barnsley as sen. I mean, I'm talking normal now. I'm not putting no accent on and out like that, is.
Well, you really actually do talk like that?
You what, mate?
You do actually talk like that, do you?
No, I can't talk like that at all, but you know.
Yes.
I mean, like Barnsley accent, just I know, no matter where that goes. I can go all over the country. I've worked all over the country. And no matter where that goes, they'll love it.
Aye.
They think it's great. That goes, then as I go out for a drink at night with lads, and I'll get talking to somebody, and they won't leave me alone. Then as I mean, they're there all the time. Talk a bit more, say a bit more, or whatever, then as.
Aye.
So, they love it like that, as Tom. Sound.
Sound, Lee, thanks for the call. Free call 0500 1053 89. Let's have another listen again to yesterday in Parliament. Listen carefully if they can for MP on Tory side saying happen, he will. And the eyes, the chorus of eyes when poor old Dennis Skinner's on his feet. Question, are they chasing Dennis Skinner? We think they've got a hidden agenda. We think they're actually having a go at their own leader, William Hague, leader of the opposition. Here we go. He's having a look at me. She's nodded off. He's got, what? What?
Sorry, the editor came in and was disturbing me.
Oh, did he do that?
I'll go and punish him.
He was, no, don't, because he was the bloke who, he was in the House of Commons yesterday.
Sorry, how can I help you, Tommy? Would you want the Skinner?
Thought we might have a listen to Dennis again,
Okay,
yes. Listen carefully.
Dennis Skinner.
Will the Prime Minister agree with me that the best news this week has been the announcement that there's another £10 billion extra in income tax receipts? It will be very helpful in the budget, and I hope that he and the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the rest of the Cabinet, most of whom are spending ministers, will be able to take part in an exercise that will take us further and further.
Now, let's see what Margaret has to say about this. Margaret in Devon.
Yes.
Good afternoon to thee.
Hello, Tommy.
Now, we did say that people would have to do what the Tories and the Labour Party were doing yesterday in-house, talking with Yorkshire accent if they came on the air, so if you don't mind.
Yes, well, I'm not Yorkshire, I'm Derbyshire. And Dennis Skinner comes from Derbyshire.
Ah, well, where's the accent then?
3 miles down the road from where I was born and bred. Now then, he used to work down the same pit as my dad in Glatwell, a little village called Glatwell, before he became an MP. And his dad must have been born there because my mother and his dad won the Charleston competition at Blackpool Tower Ballroom in 1925.
Dennis Skinner is from a family of professional ballroom dancers. Give this ammunition to the Conservative MPs who are trying to goad him.
Exactly.
And God only knows how they'll use it.
My mother won a canteen of fish knives and forks with that. Now look, don't laugh, because my mother's 90 now. Stop taking the Michael. Listen. Can I get a word in edgeways?
You couldn't make it up, Margaret.
I know. Let me neck. Listen. I'm trying to tell you that Dennis Skinner lives 7 miles down the road from Chesterfield, where the Crooked Spire Church is.
Yes.
Okay. Laughing because my mother won a canteen of fish knives and forks.
But with mother of pearl handles.
Yes, and now.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head.
I know, they've got a bit yellow now, haven't they? They do. I know.
She's still got them on the sideboard. She's had them on the sideboard 70 years.
Gorgeous, honestly.
So there you are, you see, it's from Derbyshire.
Beautiful, Margaret.
Okay.
I'm so grateful.
I thought I'd just let you know that.
I haven't had such a good laugh since Granny died.
They used to go back. They used to go dancing. They used to go dancing at Bolsover Baths in the 20s, doing the Black Bottom and the Charleston.
You call it the Black Bottom?
You know, Charleston, made in Carolina.
Oh, and 2 bottles of stout in the sideboard.
That's right.
I know.
Right. So there you are. There's where Dennis comes from.
Far out, Margaret.
Okay, sweetheart.
Far out, babe. See ya.
You're just like nice. I'll just tell you this. I've got a son-in-law comes from North Weald in Essex.
Yes.
And he's always taking the wee out of my accent.
I'll bet he is.
When I say to the kids, come on, your snaps on the table, he said, dinner, Margaret, bloody hell.
bloody hell?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Bath and path.
Yeah. Margaret, lovely talking to you.
Okay, sweetheart.
Bye now.
Bye, lovey.
Phil.
Yep.
Fish knives.
Fish knives, yeah. Why do they
that-
call it the Black Bottom, Tommy?
I don't know. What did they ever use fish knives for?
Oh, God knows.
I mean, we've had detergent, we've had washing up liquid for 30, 40 years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Nice one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Free call 0500 1053. Sorry. Free call 0500 1053 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. It's a good argument. Yeah, if you've just arrived at Talk Radio, I've got something very interesting for you to listen to. It's from yesterday in Parliament, and it was highlighted by the excellent writer Simon Hoggart in The Guardian, who was there yesterday, as was Talk Radio's editor, Martin Campbell. He says that the Tories are now rounded on the legendary Dennis Skinner, and far from trying to argue with him because he always used to win, now they take the mickey out of him. And they sit opposite him. It'll be in flat caps and working men's boots next, and take the mickey out of his accent. Happen, I'll go to the foot of our stairs. Aye. When he's talking. Let's have a listen to it again.
Dennis Skinner.
Will the Prime Minister agree with me that the best news this week has been the announcement that there's another £10 billion extra in income tax receipts? It will be very helpful in the budget, and I hope that he and the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the rest of the Cabinet, most of whom are spending ministers...
You have to listen very carefully to hear the happen well. Sounds as though it's somebody right on the front bench. And I know my way around the way they've mic'd up the House of Commons. They use old BBC microphones called 202s. And they're very directional, and you can actually tell. You've actually got somebody there on the front bench, that's to say a shadow minister, doing this. That's a shadow minister. I don't know if it's John Redwood. It sounds to me as though it could be John Redwood doing that kind of happen me well. Taking the mickey out of Dennis Skinner, or out of an accent which is used by only one other politician who's prominent in Parliament, and that, of course, is their own leader, William Hague. So is there a hidden agenda there? Anyway, in discussing accents, we're likely to confine ourselves to the accent in question, which is the West Yorkshire accent. And Phil is the expert on that one. Still doing all right. All right, Phil?
Yeah, still doing sound, yep.
Grand. Let's bring Sean into conversation from Norwich. Sean, that's on Talk Radio.
Hey up, Tommy.
Hey up, afternoon.
How you doing?
Grand, thee?
Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with taking juice out of those down to Yorkshire.
Why no, man?
Well, because, they take juice out of us up here up Norfolk.
Aye.
Here they say, you got a light boy and a white boy. So why can't we? I need to lighten up a bit.
Yeah.
Don't they, Tom?
All right, let's go to Sean, who's calling from South Yorkshire. Sean, that on Talk Radio. Afternoon.
All right, Tom, how you going, old lad?
Reed Gradley.
Not bad at all, old lad.
Reed Gradley. Do we say Reed Gradley?
Not where I come from, no.
Let me ask Phil. Phil, is Reed
Never
Gradley?
heard of it.
Never heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Phil, old lad, how you going, mate?
What's about you?
Zaldo for me, old cop.
Yep, sound.
Now then, Tom.
Aye.
Somebody who just followed, quite briefly, in William Hague's footsteps at Waff Comp.
Right, who's that then?
William Hague?
Aye.
Well, he's this bald guy that's
who's
the Tory party.
I grant that he's an insignificant type.
But we're all getting a bit worried, I see.
Aye.
Because, I mean, he didn't get on right well at school. He didn't have many mates.
Is that right?
And what you got to remember is,
Aye.
I mean, at the time,
Aye.
I mean, Maggie were destroying pits, and he made his great big speech.
He
A 16-year-old stood in front of the Tory party conference.
I'm with you.
And obviously that didn't go down right well while Maggie was shutting pits down in Durham Valley.
But listen, that's gonna put fellow Yorkshiremen off him. Maybe. Some of them anyway.
Well, most of them, because
All
they
right,
had a big school reunion at Sandygate to tell him Waff on Dern. I mean, you've heard of Waff on Dern from Mike Harding's Waff on Dern Blues.
Yeah.
And you see, Waff's most famous son, if you will, didn't turn up.
Right.
So he's obviously not a popular lad.
Right, so he's browned off the the Yorkies, maybe, of course. But has he browned off his colleagues in Parliament? And are they taking the mickey out of him when they're pretending they're taking the mickey out of Dennis Skinner? It's a fine point, but there's a lot of significance to it. What do you reckon?
Well, I don't really take him too seriously myself. I mean, you can't really take him seriously, can you?
Sean, thanks for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Whether you can or can't, I have a sneaking suspicion that an awful lot of Conservative MPs take the mickey out of their leader's accent because of what we've got on tape and what we've been listening to this afternoon. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy.
Yeah.
I just want to get this right. I'm Tommy Boyd.
Yeah. You're doing that free call.
Aye. Aye, free call.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Could you?
Right, I'll remember the number.
Aye.
Right, phone Tommy, free call, 0500 10 53 89. How's that?
On Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
A good argument for listening.
Good argument for listening. And there isn't all.
Let's have word with John calling from Sheffield. That's on Talk Radio. John, how are you?
All right, lad.
All right, lad.
Aye.
Aye.
Nothing.
Oh,
no, there's Mrs. Deed than us. Oh, by the way, just before you carry on,
yes,
you want that other one deciphering?
Yes.
What should we
I
attend?
want to do that.
Oh, you're going to do that with you, Phil?
Yeah, well, I've never, I don't think I've actually ever heard it before, but I think with Yorkshire logic I could work it out.
What do you think it is then, done logically?
Well, logically, were you on your own or were they saying? Were you on your own?
Let's just remind ourselves of what the phrase was for people who've just got to the radio. I can't remember it, can you?
Oh, what should we? Where should we ascend?
What should we ascend?
And what does it mean, Phil, do you reckon?
I reckon it means was she on her own.
What do you think it means, John?
It was, who was she with? Was she with herself?
Who was she with? Was she with herself?
Yeah.
And how do you say it again in Broad Yorkshire?
Who was she with? Was she with ascend?
Who was she with ascend?
We ascend.
Right, fantastic.
Was she on her own?
Yes.
That's right.
No, we got it. We worked it out. That didn't take... Yeah. Once it's explained to us, we know.
That other one, when man comes.
Aye.
Shintin.
Shintin. Shintin.
Shintin.
Shintin.
Right, and old Albert's Mrs. Deed than us.
Right.
And he buried her.
Aye.
He thought best of a monument for her is the best one to Idstone. So he got up to...
No, sorry, I'm not getting a word of this.
You see what a headstone.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. John, you do it in the Yorkshire accent.
Right.
Phil, you pause every so often, John. You translate, Phil, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. John, where you go?
Right, old Albert's Mrs. Deed.
Phil.
Old Albert's missus died.
Old Albert's missus died.
Right, and he went and buried her.
And he went and buried her.
Got that bit, no
right,
problem.
You know that one, right. So, after he buried her, he thought, well, we best get her Idstone.
Phil.
After she died, he thought we better
I thought he said we better get her head dyed. Headstone.
No,
headstone. Yes. Is that right, John?
That's right, yeah.
Carry on.
Right, so he gets her Idstone and he went manual maker says, well, you'll need something to put on it. You want an inscription or something?
I got the last bit, but what was the first bit, Phil?
So he got her headstone and he says, do you want me to put something on it?
Okay, carry on.
So he says, best dad, he says, let me have a think. He says, he says, now she's dead. He says, we'll think, right, we'll put on, she was thine.
What was the first bit of that, Phil?
I'm having trouble remembering it all. So he got a headstone, and they said, yeah, we better get her a headstone. So they got it engraved, and they put what on it, did you say?
She was thine.
She was thine.
She was thine.
Yeah, she was thine, yeah.
Yeah.
Thine?
Does that need translating, Tommy?
She was thine?
Yeah, she was thine.
T-H-I-N-E?
That's right.
She was thine?
That's right.
That's what's on the headstand?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's no.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
No. So, Monument mate, he says, when I've done it, he says, I'll fix it in for thee, he says, and I'll give thee a shout when I've done it.
Yeah, when it were done, he says, I'll put it in for you.
No,
I'll give you a shout when you've done it.
I think we got that bit, but thanks all the same, Phil.
Right, so off he goes, and he carves his monument, and he sticks it in grave, and he gives old Albert a shout. He says, here, Albert, come have a look at this. So Albert toddles over, he says, well, there's an E missing. He says, what? He says, there's an E missing. Wow, he says, E, she were thin.
E, she was thin.
No?
No, excellent. Very good.
Right, I'm off.
Okay, then.
Got it, have you yet?
Yeah, no, I've got it. I've got it.
He just hasn't got humour.
Well, I have. I think I have. It is different, though, isn't it, boys? Isn't it?
No, it's just thicky humour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all it is, thicky humour.
There's one down south.
Bit of Yorkshire pudding humour, isn't it?
I know. There's one down south that has to do with where to park your bicycle, but I'm not doing it.
Sorry?
There's one they do down south which is similar. It has to do with where to park your bicycle, but I'm not doing it.
Oh, right.
John, I'm grateful for the call.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, ho. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Neil calls from Clarecross. You're on Talk Radio.
Hello,
Neil,
Tommy.
good afternoon.
Hello, Tommy.
Neil.
Why are you making out that Dennis Skinner's got a West Yorkshire accent?
Because I can't do the difference, mate.
No, there's a big difference. There's a very big difference.
Yes.
I mean, I'm actually ringing from Clarecross, right? Which is where Dennis Skinner's lived for God knows how long. He actually lived at the bottom of the next street, so you're not going to get much more authentic.
No.
So where do you keep getting this Yorkshire accent from with these and theirs and eyes and...
It's the cliche of the Yorkshire accent, you see, Neil.
Oh, but it's not Yorkshire.
No, but it's the cliche that they talk like that.
We don't.
We know.
Well, what's the point of having a radio show on something that's wrong?
It's not wrong. It's what they're doing in the House of Commons at the moment. This is a...
Yeah, well, they're all wrong.
Of course. But the question is, and this is a crucial question, why are they taking the mickey out of the Yorkshire accent? Why are Conservative MPs taking the mickey in the House of Commons, in public, in the full glare of the television cameras, and within earshot of the microphones? Why are they taking the mickey out of the broad Yorkshire accent? Is it because they want to have a go at Dennis Skinner, or...
Yeah, but if they're taking it out of Dennis Skinner, they're not achieving it because he's not Yorkshire.
No. Come on, think, Phil, Neil, think.
What? No, you're calling me Phil now, are you?
Think.
Oh, my God, I've swapped people.
Yeah. I'll tell you, they are thick.
Can I?
They're thick, aren't they?
Who?
They are. What?
Who?
Never you mind.
Who are you meaning? Who are you meaning? The people in the House of Commons or the Yorkshire?
Never you mind.
No, come on, answer.
Never you mind.
Come on, you made a comment. Answer. Stand by your convictions and say what you mean.
You see, and they're belligerent too, aren't they?
Oh, but I'm not Yorkshire.
Thick-skinned.
I'm not Yorkshire.
Do you think they're taking the mickey out of William Hague?
I don't know, to be honest. But I can't see the point in trying to take the mickey out of William Hague every time Dennis Skinner speaks.
No. You're not in politics, are you?
No.
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 And I wouldn't be.
No. And you never will be.
No, I don't want to be either.
I pray to God you never will be.
Oh, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Can I tell you a lasting impression I got of Dennis Skinner one summer, many years ago?
People who used to know Dennis Skinner.
No, a lasting impression. What I got.
Who used to know Dennis Skinner.
Oh, shut up, Tommy. Tommy, listen.
Yes.
A lasting impression I got of Dennis Skinner many years ago.
Yes.
It was during the summer. He was cycling up the next road.
Yes.
In his shorts and his T-shirt.
Yes.
Tennis racket under his arm.
Yes.
Saw one of his mates walking down the other side, and at the top of his voice said, "All right, Jeff, that's Ferret."
Ferret. And Danny Baker once said to me that he'd spent the afternoon making his boy Winkle sandwiches. I don't know. I'm sure he didn't. Look, last word on this one goes to John in Leicester. You're on Talk Radio, John.
You're right, Tommy.
Aye.
Simple answer to this, Tommy.
Yes?
They've all been watching Fred Dibner's Steeplejack on telly. That's the real answer behind this, Tommy.
It's possible.
Classical bit of TV, that. Classical working man's documentary.
Until you came on the radio, John, I never thought anybody watched that programme, but there could be something in what you're saying.
I think it's definitely Reet, isn't it? Reet.
Thanks for your call. Bye now. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And Peter Dealey with Britain's fastest moving drive time. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow from 2. The wonderful hour from 3. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.